Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kind of Funny Games Daily for Wednesday, July 28th, 2021. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing Adeoye Jr. Joining me is Tim fucking GiBiz.
What is up, Bless? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I love that I tabbed over to the dock. I tabbed back, and all of a sudden you got a bomber jacket on. That's like Tim GiBiz magic right there.
It was a last minute choice where I forgot to put it on. So the intro people, they got a little something special today. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
What I like to call the reverse strip. You know?
Oh,
yeah. It never really
the old add-on. The old add-on.
The trick is, even though he's putting on clothes, still gets us going the same way as if he was taking them off.
That's the thing. That's the thing. You know, we got to think outside the box. It's 2021.
Hell yeah. Tim, how are you doing today?
I'm doing utterly fantastic, Blessing.
Awesome. I want to give a shout out to, I think Kevin said right before he went started. I forget the exact quote, but it was about Vin Diesel. What was the quote you said, Kevin?
I don't know. I don't listen to myself when I speak.
Tim, do you recall the exact quote?
I forget the exact quote because it was so good. It was something about him being an untrustworthy man. Or
yeah, no, it was something along those lines of like, I just don't trust Vin Diesel.
I don't. It's like, I mean, put me on blast like that, but I don't. I'm just saying, like, in the situation between Vin Diesel and The Rock, I think The Rock cares more about the crew. You know what I mean? He's taking care of people's hours. He's like, hey, guys, it's 8 o'clock. These people need to be home with their family because I need to work out. And it's like, all right, get it.
I'm fairly shocked this morning because the conversation we were having was about The Rock versus Vin Diesel and who's more at fault for the Fast franchise and The Rock not being in the new movie. And Tim very much playing both sides here, which I wasn't expecting.
It hurt me when he said it. I'm
both sides. I'm just saying, ego is the problem, and it is between the two. Both of them have had bad decisions made. I'm not defending either. I am, in fact, anti-defending both. That's my stance.
Anti-defending them. Everyone write that down there. He's anti-defending both of them.
Kevin is the real problem in all of this.
I'm just saying, there's a certain energy that radiates from Vin Diesel and Tyrese and that whole crew there, Michelle Rodriguez, that I look at that crew and I'm like, it's your fault. I can tell that it's your fault. I don't know what you guys did. I don't know what you guys did, but it's your fault that The Rock isn't in these movies. You guys are weird.
Family, guys. Family is rough. Family is hard, but you got to stick with them.
You got to stick with them.
It's definitely the Tyrese crying video, right? Like that shows something's wrong at home with this family.
It's part of it. I look at that. I look at the multiple Tyrese crying videos, and I'm like, I can see why The Rock is like, nah, fuck this.
Yeah, something's wrong here. Something's wrong here.
I look at Vin Diesel and the Instagram videos he puts out, and I'm like, yeah, I can see how The Rock would look at this and be like, you guys are strange.
It's too much weed.
I'm just saying, I don't think The Rock is at fault here. I think The Rock probably made the good decision by piecing out with one Jason Statham and deciding, hey, we're going to make our own movie. It's going to be action-packed.
I'm all about it.
Half as much.
Oh, Tim, don't do this. Don't do this, all right?
Let's get up to the video game
Idris Elba is going to be Black Superman. Tim, let's talk about video game news because today's stories include PS5 being the fastest-selling PlayStation, Xbox Series X/S being the fastest-selling Xbox consoles, and more because this is Kind of Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday at 10 a.m. live right here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. If you're watching live, you can correct us when we get stuff wrong by going to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. If you don't want to watch live, you can watch later on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, roosterteeth.com, or you can listen later on podcast services around the globe by searching for Kinda Funny Games Daily. To be a part of the show, to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, where bronze members or above get to write in, and silver members or above get the show ad-free with the exclusive daily post show. Housekeeping for you, we got a new Kind of Funny Gamescast up right now featuring the one and only Raven Simone. I say the one and only, even though I know there are multiple Raven Simones. This one, though, is Raven Simone, aka Bobdunga, who has a very awesome YouTube channel where she puts up video essays as well as YouTube documentaries. We talk all about Lost Games Media and how she was able to recover the Mean Girls DS game. It's an excellent episode of Kind of Funny Gamescast that you should all check out. It is live right now on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames and on podcast services around the globe. That's today. Tomorrow, at noon, we're reacting to that Annapurna Interactive Showcase, which means will we get more 12 minutes? Will we get more Stray? Will we get more Solar Ash? You got to tune in tomorrow to find out and see our reactions. That's, again, happening live, noon Pacific time, right here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. Tim, what are your hype levels for that?
I'm interested. I'm excited to see what they end up showing. I'm hoping we get some release dates. I feel like that's kind of the point we're at with these titles for the most part. We've seen them at so many different indie shows that now's the time, especially if Annapurna's doing its own thing. I'm excited they're doing their own thing. That's really cool.
Yeah, I love that too because they have such a good lineup and they've had such a good lineup over the years of cool indie games. We talked about the Devolver Digitals right before the podcast or right before the show. We talked about A24 on the movie side. No, Annapurna is also on the movie side, but there are these indie art house studios that we look forward to in terms of the stuff they greenlight that usually ends up being quality. And Annapurna Interactive is 100% one of those. And all three of these games that I mentioned, 12 Minutes, Stray, Solar Ash, I'm looking forward to. I know they got more that they're working on that are already announced. So should be a good stream tomorrow. Recommend everybody tune in. I'm very excited for it. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Donovan Harkness and Blackjack. Today we're brought to you by Away, Manly Bands, and Amazon Music. But I'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 6 stories today.
Bigger's dozen.
Starting with our number one, Tim, PlayStation has hit a huge milestone. PS5 has hit 10 million units sold. I'm pulling from Christopher Dring at GamesIndustry.biz. PlayStation 5 is Sony's fastest selling games console after surpassing 10 million sales worldwide. The new console reached the figure on July 18th, just under a month faster than the PS4 managed. Other sales figures released by Sony include that Spider-Man Miles Morales has sold over 6.5 million copies since its launch last year. PS5 exclusives Returnal, released in April, has exceeded 560,000 copies, and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, which was released last month, is already over 1.1 million units worldwide. Meanwhile, Sony San Diego developed MLB The Show 21, which was released on non-PlayStation platforms as well, has surpassed 2 million sales worldwide. The game actually has more than 4 million players and was included in the Xbox Game Pass subscription service.
Interesting.
Yeah. PlayStation 5 sales performance has been dependent on the company's ability to supply the demand, with the console sold out globally. CEO Jim Ryan, in a statement, said that improving inventory levels remains a top priority. Speaking with GamesIndustry.biz, Ryan adds that PS5 has seen double-digit growth in terms of engagement, whether that's monthly users or gameplay time, compared with the launch window of PS4. Quote, engagement on the platform is the highest that we've ever seen, whichever way you look at it. End quote, he says. Tim, huge numbers for PlayStation. What do you read from this?
I mean, absolutely huge numbers. And what's really, really interesting about this is, we're talking about, so just under a month faster than the PlayStation 4 managed to do this. We don't even need to get into all the details about how crazy that is given the supply and demand issues we're having right now with the PS5. But what I really want to point out is the games that they name drop and the numbers they name drop with them. Like, of course, they're going to talk about Spider-Man and Ratchet, but they bring up Returnal. That is a game that they are proud of and proud of its success. It being a PS5 exclusive, it being a title that isn't necessarily a household name. It's a Housemarque game. It was released in April, not that long ago, 560,000 copies sold. Like, that is definitely a narrative that I am excited to see PlayStation proud of. And
yes,
they're looking at that as a success. And I think that is a good sign when you start looking at the rest of their lineup. And for games kind of like Kena coming out so damn soon, right? We are weeks away from that at this point. And I'm hopeful that they'll be talking about that game in the same type of way, 6 months from now or whatever it is. And it's like, that's building it out that PlayStation isn't just the same type of game over and over and over again on the AAA level. It is a little bit more varied in the space in terms of scope, in terms of genre, and just in terms of like developers of who are creating these games to play either exclusively or non-exclusively on the PlayStation 5, which is now getting to the point that it is in a ton of people's hands.
Yeah, and that's something I want to touch on for sure, especially when we talk about Returnal. Is that's one of the big reasons why I love the game so much, but then also why I think the game is so important for the PlayStation's portfolio is because we've had the conversations about what the games that PlayStation greenlights and what PlayStation Studios is known for. We talk about Ghost of Tsushima, we talk about the Uncharted, we talk about these big third-person action narrative games. And you bring up Returnal and also Kena Bridge of Spirits is a game that's coming out as examples of PlayStation being able to kind of broaden that and have different variation in terms of scope, budget, type of game. Like Returnal is a PlayStation Studios first-party roguelike game that has come out, and that is kind of unheard of, and that is a really cool thing. And I think that speaks to one, the fact that PlayStation Studios is starting to broaden what the meaning of that is in terms of the kind of games they're going to be known for, but also maintain quality of those games. Like I think I think shifting the conversation from PlayStation Studios being known for third-person action narrative games and shifting that into, hey, PlayStation Studios is known for quality, is going to be the big shift that you're going to see them try to make, especially when they bring on more PlayStation Studios titles with partnering with various devs. We've seen the Jade Raymond studio pop up and how they're partnering with them to do a first party title. We've seen other things such as Firewalk Studio, which is going to be their multiplayer game that they're doing as well. And I think that's an awesome thing. I saw somebody earlier in chat talking about the 560,000 sales figure and talking about how, wow, I would have expected a little bit more. You got to remember, right, when we talk about sales figures for PlayStation, coming off of the end of last gen, where we are talking about 3 million, 4 million sold in 3 days or 3 weeks, for the best-selling PlayStation games, right? Spider-Man, God of War, stuff like that. You're also talking about an install base that has tens of million users with the PS4 by that time.
100
right
plus
now,
million more than there are PS5s.
Exactly. So you look at the PS5 right now, and there's only 10 million units out there. Returnal, not a cross-gen game, right? Returnal is a game that is exclusive for the PS5. Only those 10 million users can even have access to that. And when you're talking about 560,000 units, that may sound small for a PlayStation first-party game, but we're also talking about 1/20th of the user base.
Yep.
That's big for a PlayStation first-party game.
You move to Ratchet, we're talking about 1/10, over 1/10 of the user base, and that game has only been out a month and a half. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, that's the thing, is like what we talk about a lot when it comes to exclusive titles and new hardware is the stickiness, right? And I feel like we've really crossed over a point generation to generation with the Switch, where the attach rate was so high for Breath of the Wild and really the whole first year of Switch titles, and that hasn't really stopped. As new Nintendo first-party titles come out, owners of the Switch buy them by the 25% of the entire Switch ecosystem. And that's an insane amount of reliance that Nintendo can kind of have on understanding there's a consistency that when they put out titles of a certain caliber, they're going to sell a certain amount. So it's like that kind of is just good for everybody, because it allows them to do more of the things we want with a kind of built-in guarantee to some extent. And PlayStation's done the exact same thing with PlayStation 4. We've seen it the entire generation through, ending with things like the God of War, Horizon, Last of Us 2, Ghosts. It just kind of was like bam, 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 bam. And all of those things have insane stickiness because they're high-quality games that people have this console and expect from that console. So moving into PlayStation 5, I think that we're seeing the beginnings of that cycle happening again, simultaneously while the PS4 is still doing everything I just said. It's not going anywhere. This gen is the most cross we've ever had between whether it's titles being released on both systems or just new titles still being released on old systems exclusively, but getting their patches or whatever for next gen. There's just more options, and it doesn't always work out perfectly, but it works out better than it ever has before, because before it just didn't work. Before it was just maybe you could play last gen games on next gen, maybe, but it never was a better experience. This is the first time we have that on the Xbox side. It's incredibly better. But I just think that's really exciting, and really looking at these numbers, even going into the MLB The Show numbers, that's where this gets interesting from a PlayStation versus Xbox type conversation of 2 million sales worldwide. That's a good number, man, for a game that there they are. PlayStation's making the money off of this, and then that's with Xbox Game Pass having it.
Yep, and they mentioned in the story here, right? The game actually has more than 4 million players. So you extrapolate that, right? 2 million sales, 4 million players. The power of Game Pass there is really felt in terms of beefing up that player base and getting people in there. When you have a game like MLB The Show, which is thriving off of a player base and having in microtransactions there and in-game stuff, that's going to be huge for that game. And, that is going to speak to what the future of MLB The Show is, because I guarantee, right, MLB The Show is not going to go back, not going to go back to being an exclusive game. Mm-hmm. But are we going to continue to see it even released on Xbox Game Pass year over year becomes the question, right? Because it's having such success right now on there. And what does that mean for Xbox Game Pass in the future? There's so much in there. While we're on the topic of Xbox, because I think the next story actually feeds into the first story pretty well in terms of the whole conversation of it. Story number 2 is about how this console sales success story continues with Xbox Series X/S being Microsoft's fastest selling consoles ever. I'm pulling from Tom Ivan at VGC, who writes this. Microsoft has said that Xbox Series X and S are the company's fastest selling consoles ever. Company CEO Satya Nadella made the claim during the company's fourth quarter earnings call on Tuesday. Quote, the Xbox Series S and X are fastest selling consoles ever, with more consoles sold to date than any previous generation during that same time frame. We're all in on games. At E3 last month, we unveiled our biggest games lineup ever, announcing 27 new titles, which will all be available to Xbox Game Pass subscribers. Game Pass is growing rapidly and is transforming how people discover, connect, and play games. Subscribers play approximately 40% more games and spend 50% more than non-members, end quote. Research firm Nico Partners estimates that that total Xbox Series X/S shipments reached 6.5 million as of June 30, 2021. That compares to its estimate of 5.7 million for Xbox One and 5 million for Xbox 360 in the same time frame. Tim, we're seeing pretty much every major console manufacturer report amazing sales for their consoles, and this is even including Switch. Historically, over the last 4 years, have been seeing historic sales on their side as well. What does this do for you?
I mean, this is just good news for the industry that we love. Like, this is a sign that video games are becoming more and more mainstream and more accessible to larger swaths of people out there. Like, the most interesting stats they dropped here are the subscribers of Game Pass play approximately 40% more games and spend 50% more than non-members. Like, Xbox now has this targeted group of people that they can make games for specifically, that are the people that are going to play games the most and make them more money even than Game Pass itself is getting them. Like, they found this targeted group that is so valuable for market research and for making money. And everyone's happy because it's a great service that is allowing all of these gamers to play games more than they ever have before. So that's all great. The numbers are also incredibly impressive. Like, given, again, the supply and demand of this beating out the Xbox One original 5.7 timeframe of this going to 6.5 million in the same time frame. Like, 6.5 million, granted, we're talking about two different consoles at two different price ranges, but Xbox isn't looking at it like that. So we shouldn't either. Looking at this, 6.5 compared to the 10 million of PS5, like, that's pretty damn impressive when you're also adding on that the hardware sales of Xbox are infinitely less important to them than they ever have been before, because Game Pass is also on Xbox One and Xbox One X and Xbox One S and all that stuff. So
yeah, and there's been a big commitment from them in terms of cross-gen games as well currently. And for Xbox to be selling the consoles as well as they are, I think that's also impressive, given that, like, there's not really you don't have, like, the big exclusive Xbox next-gen games right now, right? Like, Halo Infinite is probably going to be the big title coming up this fall for them, but, like, that was supposed to be there at launch last year, and that wasn't. So the fact that people are still showing up for it, I think, one adds to the fact that there is a hunger for gaming right now, especially coming off of the pandemic and how that boosted interest in video games. You have that, but then also I think you're seeing a lot of people have faith in the strategy and have faith that, oh yeah, I am a fan of Halo. We are going to get Halo Infinite in the fall. I'll buy it because of that, or I'll buy it because I do want to play third-party games on here, or I'll buy it because I do like the idea of Xbox Game Pass more than anything else. I think you're seeing a lot of that strategy actually pay off for them, even though it's taking a little bit of this first year of the generation to actually build there. And I think that alone is also really impressive. I want to ask the question, though, for you, Tim. When we talk about supply constraints and we talk about big sales numbers for both PlayStation and Xbox, I know the conversation of scalping comes up a lot and how that has had a huge effect on availability and people wanting to get in there. For you, does the conversation around scalping dampen the success stories a bit, or do you think regardless these are still magnificent numbers?
There's been scalpers since the beginning of video games, and there will be till the end of video games. I think that now, because of the supply issues of the PS5 and Xbox series it's more pronounced than ever, and it's a bigger issue because there are more people that can't get their hands on the consoles they want for a longer period of time than we've ever seen before. Normally it's like the launch happens, but then by June, if the launch is in November, by June, everybody that wants one has the access to get their hands on one. But I think that's the major difference here. But like the reality is, of these 10 million, it is a fraction of a fraction that are in scalpers' hands right now. The majority of these things, I am willing to bet, are in the hands of gamers that want them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say so too. Like that would be the thing I'll theorize too is that at this point, like scalpers are of course a problem. Scalpers suck in terms of what they do to availability and taking advantage of a situation, all that stuff. But for what we're looking at in terms of user base and active user base for Xbox Game Pass, as well as sales numbers for games like Returnal and Ratchet and Clank, it seems that regardless, a lot of people are still able to get their hands on next gen consoles, even though a lot of the time it doesn't feel that way, especially if you're somebody who hasn't been able to get your hands on one.
We got to put in work, and that sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks that it's not as easy as just going to Amazon and adding to cart and checking out. But like if you do play the game and you follow Wario, if like it again, I'm not saying that this is the right thing, but like you will get your hands on the console you want if you just put in a lot of annoying work.
Oh yeah, like, I mean,
sucks.
Case in point, right? Like I'm somebody who's been able to, during the initial pre-order period, I was able to pre-order from Target, Walmart, and PlayStation directly, right? And I got rid of 2 of those pre-orders because I was able to secure the PlayStation one and then give that to my roommate, right? But even later down the line, I was able to get another one from PlayStation in order to give to another friend who was looking for a PlayStation. And so like they're out there, there are options out there, but you do have to pay attention. I think that is the sucky thing right now, is that you kind of have to be on the ball in terms of obtaining one. But it seems like as we're going, availability is getting these things are becoming more and more available bit by bit. They're just not widely available, which is, I know, the thing that sucks for so many people that on a whim are like, yo, I kind of want to get one now, but I can't just go to GameStop and get one. I kind of have to pay attention. I know that sucks, but if you're on the ball, you should be able to get one right now. And so, hey, good luck out there.
Yeah, good luck. I mean, it's not a guarantee by any means, but it's just like, it is. It's interesting, and at the end of the day, like these numbers are incredibly impressive given the state of the world and the state of all things. But the fact is, they're still outpacing video games in history. Like we are selling more. Like there are more hardware out there, next gen, last gen, all of it. So exciting stuff for what this means for exclusives and otherwise.
So let's talk about story number 3. A new AAA studio has been formed by Last of Us and Call of Duty devs. This is from Joe Skrebels at IGN. Developers from the teams behind The Last of Us, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, God of War, Destiny, and many more have come together to form That's No Moon, a new studio working on a single-player, third-person action-adventure game and backed with a $100 million investment. As announced in a press release, That's No Moon comes with a huge AAA pedigree, with many of its senior figures coming from a background at PlayStation Studios. Michael Mumbar, formerly head of PlayStation's Visual Arts Group, which you should recognize that name because we talked all about Michael Mumbar in the stories about how the Visual Arts Group was working on Uncharted remakes and more stuff. The Last of Us remake, as well as other things. Michael Mumbar is CEO, and Tina Kowalewski, formerly head of product development at Sony Santa Monica, is chief strategy officer. Although details are scant, the studio's first game will be an ambitious new action-adventure game that will push the limits of both gameplay and story. Taylor Kurosaki will serve as creative director, and Jacob Minkoff will be game director. The duo previously worked together at Infinity Ward and Naughty Dog on Call of Duty Modern Warfare and The Last of Us. That's No Moon says the wider development team's credits include God of War, Fortnite, Last of Us Part 2, Destiny, Uncharted 4, Thieves End, and many more. That's No Moon has received a $100 million investment from Smilegate, the creator of the Crossfire series, which will also be acting in a partnership role. The partnership aims to, quote, create new experiences that will inspire empathy and deeper personal connections with players around the world, end quote. Interestingly, while the studio is working on a game, the announcement press release mentions that That's No Moon, quote, rests at the intersection of games, film, and TV, end quote. Although it's not clear if that's a creative philosophy or a representative of the actual kinds of products it aims to work on. Based in Los Angeles and San Diego, the studio aims to build a team of 100 developers by 2022. CEO Mombar was reported to have been working on a remake of The Last of Us before. That project ran into roadblocks. It seems that That's No Moon represents what the former Visual Arts Group studio head went on to do next. Game leads Minkoff and Kurosaki announced that they had left Infinity Ward in May to pursue a rare and exciting new opportunity. Tim, that's No Moon Game Studios. Does all of what I read make you hype?
Oh my God, it could not be more hype. Every single name named, every single group they formerly were with is exciting. Like, this is just awesome. I love seeing new AAA teams being formed, because what does this mean 5 years from now? We're probably going to get something really, really special. And we're talking last story about all these next-gen consoles being in people's hands. Hopefully, by the time this game, whatever it is, comes out, everyone that wants to be able to play it on a next-gen console will be able to. I want to give a shout-out to Scott Lowe, the homie, who is also part of this team now. He is the director of marketing and communications. Congrats to him. So fucking cool to see him. From IGN to Naughty Dog to freaking doing this. So awesome. That's No Moon Studios.
Very interesting name.
Very interesting. The big question that we have to start off, are they working on a Star Wars project? Every single word used here could be a Star Wars project, and I'd be excited about that.
Interesting. Well, I mean, what brings you to Star Wars? The name of the studio, That's No Moon, or just the idea of?
Yeah, I mean, That's No Moon is a quote from Star Wars.
Oh,
so
okay.
Very famous quote
about the Death Star. It's like, that's No Moon. That's No Moon.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. AAA makes sense. Them talking about a single player, third person action adventure game. Like, all right, cool. A lot of that totally could be Star Wars. Could not be. But what really makes me think, oh, maybe is this rest at the intersections of games, film, and TV. Right?
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of things.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it could just be a brand new IP, and I wouldn't be surprised. That name could just be a fun, cheeky name and really, really intricate logo that I'm not sure if I love or hate. Kev, can you bring up the logo somehow?
Also, I do want to shout out Kenzo in chat. Says blessing fake Star Wars fan. I want to make it clear. I've never said I'm a Star Wars fan. I've never
shit! Blessing hates Star Wars.
Get him, internet. Star Wars is a very fine.
Get him, internet.
I do like Star Wars video games though, and so that actually does get me kind of hype. I'm down to play a Star Wars video game.
I'm gonna be honest. I agree with you and Barrett. Star Wars sucks now.
I mean, I never said it sucks. I just don't really care about it.
No. Me, you, Barrett, we're all on the same boat. Star Wars sucks. I hate it.
It's no Ghostbusters, I'll tell you that, and it's definitely no Uncharted.
Guys.
How many like controversial buzzwords can we throw into this like 1 minute to get everyone upset?
I mean, what else is there? Like,
is Star Wars overrated?
Last Jedi. That's the last Jedi.
God. Okay, no. Bless.
So divided on, right?
Yeah, you went too far. We have rules, Bless. Like, and that's it. That's going too far.
That's the bad word.
Oh, that logo is fucking a lot. Oh.
Yeah, Kev, can you bring it up?
Tim, I'm clearly working on it. Okay.
I love
Can
you.
you stop stressing me out? Thank you.
I will say I do like this coming off of
that. How many letters did they throw in there?
Well, so that's the thing. Originally, I was like, okay, maybe they tried to spell That's No Moon in that, but they didn't do that. But then my second...
It's TNM.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, but
this looks like one of those Rorschachs where you try
there's a weird butterfly in the middle that doesn't need to have...
Kevin, that butterfly, what else does that look like? A TIE fighter.
TIE fighter.
Thank you. Fucking thank you. And then on top of that...
No way Bless would know, am I right, though? You want to say that?
Fucking get him, dude. No. So, like, what this also reminds me of is kind of the, like, targeting computer stuff from Star Wars, right?
Well, I mean, most of the technology from Star Wars looks like this. Anytime you're seeing a screen, it looks like some bullshit like this. It's like, oh, man, come on.
Exactly. But it's like, I don't know. That could all just be still just a reference in, an homage to something, to a franchise that obviously inspired millions of people artistically. So it's like, it doesn't necessarily need to be a Star Wars project just because it is a Star Wars name. But with the license kind of being a little bit more open and out there, and, with Big John Drake making them money moves with the Disney partnerships, like, wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, we'll get more Star Wars games out there, right? In the same way that you have Marvel partnering up with as many people as possible. I think the thing, though, is that this game strikes me as this is going to be an Uncharted-like thing, right? Like, this strikes me as this is going to be what Visceral Game Star Wars was going to be. And that gets me excited. That gets me excited, especially when you look at the names on it. That gets me excited when you talk about the budget behind it. I think all that is super awesome. Kevin, what is this?
Somebody mentioned Adwala as the look like the logo, but it doesn't. And so I googled Adwala to look at the logo, and did you know that a year ago Coca-Cola shut down Adwala? Wild. You want me to add that as a news story?
Wild. Yeah, add that as story number 7.
A baker's dozen.
Holy shit. But I do love this too, as a coming off of the Mombar story, and how you had that group seemingly come through, try to do their own thing, get lumped in with working on Naughty Dog projects, and feel seemingly unsatisfied with what they're doing there. The fact that Michael Mombar specifically can peace out, be like, I want to do my own thing, and seem to come back with a big studio working on a big project. Congratulations to that. Like, that's a big come up story, and so big shout outs.
And I just want more of those type of games, man. Like, I love those third-person narrative action games. So more, Star Wars or otherwise, I'm in.
Do you think we could get to an oversaturation point with it though?
No.
Because now, like, we've got what the Star Wars game from the team working on The Division. We got Jedi Fallen Order, which will probably have a sequel at some point. We have, I mean, all the EA Star Wars games that they've already done that probably have sequels as well. Do you think we get to the point where we're like, okay, enough is enough, or do you think the more the merrier at this point?
It's not the more the merrier. It's the more quality, the merrier. Like, at the end of the day, how many podcasts did we do in 2013 that were just like superhero movies? I don't know, man. I don't know. There's a saturation. No, we're still here. Bigger, better, more than ever. So it's like, as long as it's good, you get that. There's the momentum that starts to build. And I'm not necessarily just talking about Star Wars games. I'm just talking about third-person narrative action games. Like, we don't have that many of them. And it's like, it feels like we do sometimes when we're talking about the games we love most from PlayStation, but that's just because we really love those handful of games. There's not like there's like multiple of them coming out every year. It's not like it's an indie retro platformer. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And in terms of add the Star Wars wrapper on top of it, Star Wars can be so many different things. Does it end up normally just being the same thing over and over? Sure. But that's not my fault. That's the problem. That's their problem. But I'm going to keep playing them. I like lightsabers.
I do like lightsabers too as well, Tim. Tim, you know what else I like? Patreon.com/kindafunnygames, where you can go and get the show ad free. But if you're listening to this part of the show, that means that you didn't. And so here are some ads.
This episode is brought to you by Away. Away is a modern lifestyle brand that creates thoughtful products for every traveler and every kind of trip. They started with the perfect suitcase, crafted with features that make travel more seamless. And now, when travel looks more different than ever before, you can count on Away's range of suitcases, bags, and accessories whenever you take that next trip. Here at Kinda Funny, we travel a lot, so every little thing that can make that experience better and easier, we're gonna look for, and Away has done that tenfold. Every suitcase comes with an interior organization system that is super handy, and a TSA approved combination lock can keep all of your belongings safe. There's a 100-day trial on everything Away makes, so if you don't like it, you can return it, no questions asked. Start your 100-day trial and shop the entire Away lineup of travel essentials, including their best-selling suitcases, at awaytravel.com/KFGD. That's awaytravel.com/KFGD. Next up, shout out to Amazon Music. If you're looking for a ready lineup of binge-worthy podcasts plus free streaming music, you have to check out Amazon Music. Amazon Music has more than 10 million free podcast episodes to listen to, including this show and all of Kinda Funny's other podcasts. You can go check out and review. It's fantastic stuff. No matter what you're listening to, you can even go hands-free with Alexa. You can get the app and enjoy free listening anywhere on all your favorite devices. There's no credit card or subscription required. Amazon Music isn't just for listening to podcasts. They have thousands of music stations and top playlists to stream for free. If you've never tried Amazon Music, what are you waiting for? You're going to love it as much as I do and as much as my bro, Cool Greg, does. Start listening for free today. Head over to amazon.com/KFGD. That's amazon.com/KFGD to stream thousands of music stations and over 10 million podcast episodes for free. Amazon.com/KFGD. And finally, shout out to Manly Bands. Guys, for the better part of their lives, our better halves have been fantasizing about the perfect wedding ring. For us, not so much, and jewelry stores clearly think the same thing. Manly Bands is here to rescue you from an otherwise hellish band buying experience. Manly Bands offers you and your hand the freedom to look how you want it to, in just about every type of earthly material imaginable, and even from space. Yeah, Kevin is all about this stuff. There's some really cool ones. One of my really good friends, Danny, actually has one of these, and it's beautiful. I love the amount of color options there are. I love the amount of material options there are. Check them out. Really attractive wedding bands here. To get started, order the Manly Ring Sizer from Manly Bands to ensure that your ring will fit perfectly during work and play. While there might be a 50% chance that your marriage working out, damn, there's a 100% chance that you're gonna love your band. It's dark, but hey, stats are stats. To order your Manly Band and get 21% off plus a free silicone ring, go to manlybands.com/KFGD. That's manlybands.com/KFGD for 21% off. Manly Bands, the best damn rings, period. There's an energy today, Bless, and I love it. I fucking love it. Every once in a while, me and Kev just get on this wavelength, and I'm just like, oh, we vibing, and here we are. Let's continue the train. Choo choo.
Let's continue. Well, it's going to be hard to continue the train with the next news story because we're going back to the Activision Blizzard saga, story number 4. We've got a few more updates on that. We got like 3 more updates. Right? I'm going to start with a statement that Bobby Kotick put out, pulling from Ian Walker at Kotaku, who writes this. Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick has issued a public statement addressed to all employees concerning the harassment lawsuit against his company. The full statement is as follows. This has been a difficult and upsetting week. I want to recognize and thank all those who have come forward in the past and in recent days. I so appreciate your courage. Every voice matters, and we'll do a better job of listening now and in the future. Our initial responses to the issues we face together and to your concerns were quite frankly tone deaf. It is imperative that, and to pause there, right, because I don't think I gave full context, and I'm sure there's people that might be hopping into this episode that may have missed the previous ones, right? Like the whole ordeal is that Activision Blizzard being sued by the state for harassment. Sexual harassment and prejudice against women in their working practices, all this stuff. Activision Blizzard put out a statement earlier. That statement was doing a lot of denying of the charges, kind of tone deaf, not even kind of, very tone deaf. And this is kind of where we're picking back up with an additional statement from Bobby Kotick. It is imperative that we acknowledge all perspectives and experiences and respect the feelings of those who have been mistreated in any way. I'm sorry that we did not provide the right empathy and understanding. Many of you have told us that active outreach comes from caring so deeply for the company, that so many people have reached out and shared thoughts, suggestions, and highlighted opportunities for improvement is a powerful reflection of how you care for our communities of colleagues and players, and for each other. Ensuring that we have a safe and welcoming work environment is my highest priority. The leadership team has heard you loud and clear. We are taking swift action to be the compassionate, caring company you came to work for and to ensure a safe environment. There is no place anywhere at our company for discrimination, harassment, or unequal treatment of any kind. We will do everything possible to make sure that together we improve and build the kind of inclusive workplace that is essential to foster creativity and inspiration. I have asked the law firm WilmerHale to conduct a review of our policies and procedures to ensure that we have and maintain best practices to promote a respectful and inclusive workplace. He continues on and says, we are committed to long-lasting change. Effective immediately, we will be taking the following actions. 1, employee support. We will continue to investigate each and every claim and will not hesitate to take decisive action. To strengthen our capabilities in this area, we are adding additional senior staff and other resources to both the compliance team and the employee relations team. 2, he talks about listening sessions. 3, personnel changes. We are immediately evaluating managers and leaders across the company. Anyone found to have impeded the integrity of our processes for evaluating claims and imposing appropriate consequences will be terminated. He then goes on to talk about 4, hiring practices, and then 5, in-game changes. He details those things, but you can go into the statement. I didn't want to include the whole thing because it would be a very long read. Your well-being remains my priority, and I will spare no company resource ensuring that our company has the most welcoming, comfortable, and safe culture possible. We have my unwavering commitment that we will improve our company together, and will be the most inspiring, inclusive entertainment company in the world. Yours sincerely, Bobby. That followed a statement from World of Warcraft. They put up a statement on their Twitter talking about how they're going to make some changes in the game based off of a lot of the talk of the last few days. I'm pulling from Jay Peters at The Verge. The World of Warcraft team has vowed to remove, quote, references that are not appropriate for our world in the coming days, end quote, following California's major sexual harassment and workplace discrimination lawsuit filed against World of Warcraft developer Activision Blizzard last week. The World of Warcraft team's statement on Tuesday didn't specify what references they would remove, but it seems possible that NPCs and items named for former World of Warcraft senior creative director Alex Afrasiabi, that was when we were struggling with on Friday, I believe. Alex Afrasiabi may be taken out of the game. Although Afrasiabi seemingly left Blizzard in June 2020. His stamp on the game remains, as Kotaku reported on Thursday. Afrasiabi was singled out in the lawsuit for his horrible behavior, which the Department of Fair Employment and Housing says included, quote, blatant sexual harassment with little to no repercussions, end quote. Lastly, this morning, walkout organizers released a statement in response to Bobby Kotick. The statement reads like this. On the evening before our employee walkout, Activision Blizzard leadership released a statement apologizing for their harmful responses to last week's DFEH lawsuit. While we are pleased to see that our collective voices, including an open letter with thousands of signatures from current employees, have convinced leadership to change the tone of their communications, this response fails to address critical elements at the heart of employee concerns. Activision Blizzard's response did not address the following: the end of forced arbitration for employees, worker participation in oversight of hiring and promotion policies, the need for greater pay transparency to ensure equality, and employee selection of a third party to audit HR and other company processes. Today's walkout will demonstrate that this is not a one-time event that our leaders can ignore. We will not return to silence. We will not be placated by the same processes that led us to this point. This is the beginning of an enduring movement in favor of better labor conditions for all employees, especially women, in particular women of color and transgender women, non-binary people, and other marginalized groups. We expect a prompt response and a commitment to action from leadership on the points enumerated above, and look forward to maintaining a constructive dialogue on how to build a better Activision Blizzard for all employees. Today, we stand up for change. Tomorrow and beyond, we will be the change. That's the end of the statement. Tim, I did a lot of talking there.
And I'm about to do some more, Bless.
Yeah, well, what do you have to say?
Breaking news right now. Steven Totillo from over at Axios that we talked about a couple days ago just posted a thing saying nearly 500 current and former Ubisoft workers from 32 studios have signed an open letter in solidarity with Activision Blizzard workers and calling out Ubisoft management for its handling of its misconduct scandals over the past year. There's a full letter in full. It doesn't just stand with AB workers, doesn't just criticize Ubisoft bosses. It calls for industry-wide action and change with publishers and developers getting involved. And then there was a whole letter there that is very similar in tone and wording to the thing you just read as well. So this is it, man. It's all happening, and this sucks that we're here, but this last week has all kind of been leading to this next step, which is the action of the people and the solidarity of standing together and making demands. And the next step after this is seeing how that all shakes out. Like, what are the repercussions? Will there be repercussions? There hasn't been many in the last year when it comes to these type of stories. So I'm a little more hopeful for this one. I don't really know why, but it does feel like, I mean, at some point enough is enough, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like we have to be hitting critical mass of that, where you just can't ignore this anymore, no matter who you are.
Yeah, and seeing the Ubisoft workers come out and really stand by the workers at Activision and make similar demands and really fight back, it warms my heart so much, because you're right, that's the exact thing we need from this. And I think this time does feel different. I think in the ways that you are seeing more and more people like hold hands in a way that is more confrontational, right? That is less so, hey, just so you guys know, this shit is happening over here and it sucks, and us go, yeah, that sucks, but we don't know what to do about it, and then life goes on because nobody is really making the demands and the actions necessary to actually force people into positions to actually make change, right? Like, I love seeing Ubisoft workers go, nah, fuck this, like, we're gonna do it too, because enough is enough and things need to change. I think that's awesome. Reading the statement from Bobby Kotick, like, it feels so much like lip service based off of the statements that we got last week coming out of Activision, but then also seeing that, okay, cool, so you guys only have things to say when it hurts your pockets, because now we've hit the point where Activision Blizzard can't really promote shit. Stocks have started to drop, and that's when Bobby Kotick is finally like, all right, I'll make some change. Like, we can finally do this. Like, no, like, that's not where this ends. This ends with likely unionization. This ends with people losing their job. The people that have been fostering this environment and allowing it to continue to stay up, and the people who even allowed it to come to fruition and get to this point, right? Like those people need to go. So the fact that people are speaking out in this way and making demands and standing firm and not allowing statements like Bobby Kotick's statement and stuff that feels like it's trying to like placate the workforce by being like, hey, we hear you, hey, we'll do this, hey, here's this. That's not enough. Like we need exact changes. We need you to hear us, and not just hear us. We need you to act based on that. I love that, and of course, like we here stand with the folks over at Activision Blizzard who are doing the good work, not working today and making sure that their voices are heard. Shout out to that. It's an amazing thing.
Absolutely.
Tim, let's talk about story number 5. Blue Box Studios. That's right. That Blue Box Studios is back on their bullshit. Yesterday, they tweeted out an image teasing their PlayStation app, which now they've called the abandoned real-time experience. They tweeted out with an image, which Kev, if you're able to pull up the image, that'd be great.
It'd be cool if you gave me a link. You know what I mean, man?
The link is in the doc under the news story. So there you go, Kevin. They tweeted out saying, "Are you ready?"
I got it. You're right. It was right there. My bad, my guy.
See?
My bad. I'm sorry. I'm stressing about
That's all good,
oil.
man. I forgive you, man. You're doing a lot of work, man. I understand.
Look at these fucks. Look at these fucks. God damn it! Like y'all gotta stop. You know what I mean? Like it's enough.
So to describe it, right, for people who are watching audio or listening audio, it's the abandoned real-time experience only for PS5 text, but then behind that is a blurred image. That blurred image made in an eye patch that looks strangely like they could be, I don't know,
but it doesn't. But it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like it looks like it could be, but it looks more like Tim wearing an eye patch. Look at Tim's bullshit. Look at the facial hair. Look at the facial hair. Look at the shape of Tim's head.
What if the twist was like I was behind this whole thing?
I would know that reveals that he's behind the Twitter account.
I hate this. It is actually upsetting me. And I know that doesn't matter to many people out there, but I hope that there's somebody in the chat right now that is like, you know what, Tim, I'm here for you. You don't need to be this angry. And I'll be like, thank you, person in chat. Thank you for being there for me. Because I am irrationally angry about this. This is such insult to injury. Fuck this. Stop. You need to stop asking for this bullshit. Mm-hmm. You're asking for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're doing a really good troll job, because I hit the point after the last time, right, where they teased out a name that seemed like it could be Silent Hill. We went through that whole saga of them denying any sort of connection to Kojima and really going hard in terms of, no, like, we didn't mean to do that. Sorry, like, no, this isn't a Kojima-based thing. I went through the saga of being like, well, you kind of leaned into it, but I get, like, kind of sucks that you're a small developer. Okay, like, I guess I'll let it slide. Like, people make mistakes. You know, maybe you didn't know what you're getting into. Them coming back with this is like the most, like, man, you guys are fucking just gnarly with it. You guys don't give a fuck. Like, you guys are really trying to market this game by any means necessary. And so hey, I'm gonna download the app, see what it's about, and you know, it's not gonna be Silent Hill.
Why not just wait till?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch.
Because I'm curious. I'm curious to see what it is.
I'm interested in what's going on with this fucking picture behind him, where it's like, I don't even know why am I doing this? Why am I giving the attention they fucking want? But the kind of, it looks like an eye patch, but it also, based on the blurriness, kind of looks like sunglasses with just an eye patch line. But then when you look more, it looks like there's words, like white words that are blurred out, which is very reminiscent to the Phantom Pain reveal thing. So it's like, there's just like layers to this shit of how annoying it can possibly be. But I don't think there's ever been a news story that has been this inconsequential that I've ever covered on Games Daily that like I get this upset about the longer it goes on, where it's just like, it's just getting worse and worse and worse for something that like, I hope there was like some ramifications for this. I hope that somebody
right
is
now,
like, you know what, fuck this.
Right now, I think the ramification is I cannot see this game appearing back on the PlayStation blog. This game, if you remember, was revealed on the PlayStation blog as this abandoned thing. And if I'm PlayStation and I'm seeing this behavior and this is not a Kojima thing, then I'm like, nah, fuck you guys. Like, no, we stood with you, and now you guys are out here like doing crazy shit with your marketing. No, we're not going to stand by this. And so I think that's probably part of it. And then, of course, when this is actually officially revealed, like they are going to feel the wrath of the internet in a way that I do not envy. Like they're asking for a lot of bullshit to get thrown their way.
Is
sucks,
there any
man.
chance this isn't like bullshit and this is actually like, I don't know, something?
Yeah, there's a huge chance. I mean, it could be
there's a
so
chance.
many different things. And like that's the worst part about all this. It's just like I just feel that I'm very over this and I don't have faith in the way they're doing this, that I at this point don't want this to be something I'm interested in. Because I don't believe that this team has the stuff to give us that cool thing. Because they're handling this super poorly, in my opinion. At the end of the day, I need to say this, and I'm going to always say this when it comes to shit. Don't be mean to people. Leave people alone. Don't go after these devs. But having said that, this sucks.
It sucks. Let's wrap up the Ruppert Report with story number 6. There's a reason why I've been wearing this Mario shirt, Tim, and it's because of this news story specifically. Lady Gaga was supposed to come out of a Mario warp pipe at the Olympics. This is from Liana Ruppert at GameInformer. Yeah, you weren't expecting that one, were you? The Tokyo Olympics.
None of those words. None of those words.
Just last week, and the opening ceremony featured amazing tracks from some of our favorite gaming franchises. With music from Monster Hunter, Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, Soul Calibur, and more, the absence of Nintendo was glaring. Apparently, the company was initially slated to be a part of the Tokyo Olympics commencement ceremony, including a scrapped concept of Lady Gaga coming out of a Super Mario warp pipe. In a new report from the Japanese site Bunshun, this is via Reset Era, there is documentation of the opening ceremony's collapse, quote unquote collapse, detailing that was initially thought to be the show starter. According to the site, the original plan was to have a red motorcycle rush in to the theme of the main character from Katsuhiro Otomo's manga, Akira. A song written by Yasutaka Nakata was meant to play, and the overall vibe was meant to be sunny and cheery. But what actually ended up making the final production was a very different picture, which makes the leaked showcase plans all the more interesting. The report states, quote, on July 19th, 4 days before the performance, Keigo Oyamada, who was in charge of the composition, was forced to resign because he had made statements in the past that boasted of bullying, quote, bullying for people with disabilities. Kentaro Kobayashi, who was in charge of the production as a show director, was also dismissed after discovering that he had been ridiculing the Holocaust in the past, end quote. With those changes, many visions regarding the event were altered. Damn, I can't imagine.
That's such a weird sentence, like ridiculing the Holocaust.
Yeah, like what the fuck is going on over there? The documentation details several major ways that the opening ceremony changed just before the final curtain call. Nintendo's participation as of June 16th was meant to include the main theme of The Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Suite, Kirby Superstar Medley, and the opening of Pokemon. The article details that all of those plans were scrapped just before the show, though Nintendo did not comment when inquiries were made outside of, quote, we are not in a position to answer, end quote. I want to say the assumption here was that they saw this other bullshit with these other folks that are supposed to be involved and went, nope, we are not associating with that, and pulled out. But that is just a theory. That's not stated as fact anywhere because we couldn't get a statement from Nintendo. But interesting one, weird one, fun tidbit for you there. You know, I'm sad we didn't get to see Lady Gaga pop out of a Mario warp pipe because Lord knows I would have been all about that. I would have loved to see that. But
totally.
Hey, it is what it is.
I wish we could have heard the music. I always love new arrangements, although with this list of titles, it seems like it's all arrangements we've heard before, potentially, but still exciting.
Yeah, there's still
There's nothing like that. The opening of Pokemon, let's fucking go.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, imagine like seeing Olympians or whoever like come on stage or walk out to the fields to the tune of, I don't know, Cerulean City.
Well, I mean, what's so funny is they did that with the Kingdom Hearts music, and it's like they played the Hercules Olympus music from Kingdom Hearts for the Olympics. It's so nerdy and specific. I love it.
I love it. Go get them Olympics and go get them video games industry and video game music, which is phenomenal. And so that's all an awesome thing. Tim, I can't wait for the 2024 Olympics to see what other video game soundtracks get used to introduce this ceremony. But that Olympics is so far away. If I want to know what's coming out to mom and pop shops today, where would I look?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform is listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily show host each and every weekday.
Yeah, ignore the cat.
Thomas is stoked, dude.
Thomas is like, I can't wait for the Olympics as well. Out today, we got The Forgotten City for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X/S, Xbox One, PC, and Switch. We got Io the Clown for Switch, PC, and Mac. We got Chernobylite for PC, Unbound World Apart for Switch and PC, Trigger Witch for PS4 and Xbox One, Final Fantasy 3 for PC, Final Fantasy 2 for PC, and Final Fantasy, the original, for PC. And then Madness Beverage is out today for Xbox One and Xbox Series X. Tim, could you guess what Madness Beverage is?
Madness Beverage. I mean, I got to imagine it's like an Overcooked type game. Or like that
Tim,
supermarket game with the donkey.
Oh, Tim, you are so far off. No, it is not.
Damn.
Kevin, I have a link here if you want to pull it up. Madness Beverage. I saw this on Twitter as I was scrolling through. I want to say Major Nelson retweeted it because it's an Xbox exclusive right now. And I watched the trailer and I was like, huh, interesting. Interesting. It is a first-person shooter game. There's the music right there. It has a lot of like Doom, Quake vibes to it. Very crunchy first-person shooter graphics.
Crunchy is a good word.
Yeah, crunchy. Crunchy is definitely the word for it.
Real Unreal Tournament.
I don't understand where the beverages come in. That's the thing that confuses me. But
I'll tell you what, Bless.
Hold on.
There they are.
Oh, there they are. Powerful beverages. You drink beverages to upgrade. They give you powers.
It's like that one game with the daddies and the little sisters.
BioShock.
God.
That's it.
Damn,
You nailed it. What? Isn't that what they're called?
What a way to describe BioShock. What's
They got the
one
big
game with
daddies.
the daddies and the little sister. I mean, yeah, like it
Right?
is accurate. It's just the way you said it.
All right, so there you go. That's Madness Beverage. New dates for you. This comes from Dr. Mario World on Twitter. They tweeted out an end of service notice. The Dr. Mario World's game service will end on October 31st, 2021. Thank you very much to the players who have supported the game. Tim, did you ever try out Dr. Mario World?
I did, just for a little bit. I always try out the Nintendo mobile
shutting
games.
down already?
No, I mean it's been out for long enough.
Has it? I feel like this was announced like a year or two ago.
Yeah, I mean I don't know how long do these games need to be around. I'm not really sure. You know what I mean? Like Mario Kart Tour is still around, and making a lot of money from suckers paying like $5 a month for that gold pass. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Nintendo,
I played the hell out of that game for like a month, and I'm like, you know what? That was a waste of a month, but it had some fun moments. I'm gonna be real.
Nintendo, I need to release a traditional Dr. Mario game because I miss Dr. Mario. I would love to play new Dr. Mario.
Dude, Dr. Mario is fun until you got to the levels where it's like, oh no, you need to be like pop all the clouds.
Yeah, once you start hitting the later levels, it's has
like,
way more of a difficulty curve than Tetris, where Tetris you can keep up for quite some time. At least I can. Dr. Mario, you get to level fucking 9 and it's already like, holy shit, there's a lot of germs on this thing, and I cannot get the right colors to spawn.
Well, no, it was the hidden keys, remember, where you couldn't see the keys because of the clouds, and so you had to like waste a move to like make the clouds go away. It was disappointing.
More for new dates. We got Fatal Frame, Maiden of Blackwater. That's coming to consoles and PC on October 28th, 2021. And then Picross S Genesis and Master System Edition is launching August 5th on the Switch. Deal of the day for you. It's officially official. The PlayStation Twitter tweeted out this morning: Hunters Arena Legends, Tennis World Tour 2, and Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville are your PlayStation Plus games for August. If you remember earlier, that was sort of leaked by the PlayStation website, but they took it back. But now we get official word. You're getting those 3 games. So get hyped for some tennis and a new Battle Royale game. Tim, folks can go over to kindafunny.com/you're wrong, where they can write in, let us know what we got wrong, as we got it wrong, so we can correct it for those watching later on YouTube and listening later on podcast services around the globe. Let me tell you, you guys did not hesitate today. There are quite a few write-ins, but it seems like a lot of it is additional context. Oh, I do like this one though. Let me double check this one. This one is about a Back 4 Blood open beta. We might have dates announced, and it looks like we do. Back 4 Blood has an open data early access date of August 5th through August 9th, and then the open beta is happening August 12th through August 16th. So hell yeah. Let's see here. Nanobiologist writes in and says, Dr. Mario World has been out for over 2 years. It launched July 10th, 2019. So we just freshly hit the 2-year mark on that game. And then one more for new dates. Grezik says Marvel Future Revolution launches August 25th. So there you go. Tomorrow's hosts for Kind of Funny Games Daily are Greg and Tim. If you're watching this live on Twitch right now, after this is Mike and Greg playing some Ghostbusters, the video game. If you want to catch that later, you can subscribe to youtube.com/kindoffunnyplays. Remember, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily, each and every weekday at 10 a.m. live right here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. We have a Patreon post show for those that are subbed at the silver level of patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. So stick around for that. Otherwise, until next time, Game Daily.
What's me and Jen?